third grade, this AKS is very important and will be used all the way through high school and beyond. Later on, I will be talking about the commutative property, the associative property, and the distributive property, but this video will concentrate on only the distributive property. But all of these are very important to help the students learn how to use different strategies when they are multiplying and dividing. So I will go over quickly what each of these properties states. The commutative property of multiplication states that if 6 times 4 equals 24, then it is known that 4 times 6 also equals 24, which lets us know that if we are only multiplying, the order in which we multiply does not make a difference. The associative property of multiplication is also important. If I look at the example 3 times 5 times 2, we can do 3 times 5, that's going to equal 15. Then we take that 15 and multiply it by 2 to equal 30. Or we could do 5 times 2 equals 10, and then take 3 times 10, and that will also equal 30. So the order in which we multiply it really does not make much of a difference. In this lesson, we will look at the distributive property. Knowing that 8 times 5 equals 40 and 8 times 2 equals 16, then we can find the product of 8 times 7 by looking at it as a deconstructed number. So I can think of 8 times 5 plus 2, we deconstructed the 7, is going to equal to 8 times 5 plus 8 times 2. So 8 times 5 is going to equal 40, plus 8 times 2 is 16, and we get the product of 56. So here I have an array with 5 rows and 9 in each row. So my multiplication problem is going to look like 5 times 9, which we know is 45. Except the students may have a little bit of trouble with this, so we're going to break this apart into more manageable pieces. So with this array, and to deconstruct it, you can see the yellow boxed in area. I still have 5 rows, but I'm going to break that 9 up into a 6 plus a 3. So my new multiplication problem will be 5 times 6. I'm going to go ahead and highlight the yellowed in area so we can notice that that is 5 times 3, and that will end up being our new multiplication problem. So on the test, they're going to be asking the students, how can we redo the problem of 5 times 9? And they should be able to think, okay, I'm going to deconstruct that 9 into a 6 and a 3, and that will equal 5 times 6 plus 5 times 3. Just a quick note here that what's important is notice that between the 6 and the 3, that is a plus sign. So once you are doing your multiplying, what's important that on the test that they look that it will be an addition sign, nothing else than that. Here's another way of looking at the exact same problem. This time we're just going to deconstruct the 9 into a 7 plus a 2. So I'm thinking about what is going to be my new mathematical equation. Well, now it's going to be highlighted in blue there, 5 times 7 plus, remember that plus sign has to be a plus, 5 times 2, and that is going to equal 45 because 7 times 5 or 5 times 7 is 35, plus another 10 for 5 times 2, and that gives us to 45. All right, I'm going to do one final example with our array of 5 times 9, but this time I'm going to break the 9 up into a 5 plus 4. So when I write my problem, we need to think 5 times 9 is going to be the same as our row of 5 times 5 in each row, and then our second array that we've made is 5 times 4. So 5 times 5 is 25, 5 times 4 is 20, so I know that 25 plus 20 equals 45. On my final example, on this one I have 6 rows and I have 7 in each row. Now my suggestion for the students is when you want to decompose, always decompose with a number that you are pretty familiar with. And most students know they're 2 times because of skip counting in first and second grade. They're 5 times and they're 10 times. So if they can find a way to break it up into a group maybe with 5 in each row, that will help them. So what I'd like you to do here is to pause the video just for a second, look at that array, and write your 2 multiplication problems. You're rewriting 6 times 7, and how will that look on the test? So go ahead and pause the video. So hopefully you came up with 6 times 7 is going to equal 6 times 5, which we know is 30, plus 6 times 2, which is 12. So 30 plus 12 gives me 42. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. This AKS is one of the most important AKS you will learn to help you once you get into the upper grades. So enjoy.